why don't we go ahead and call the order at 5:02 this evening, and then we will go right on to the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll wait for you, Devin, if we have do we have a flag?
Forgot about that part. Give me 1 second here.
Yep, no problem. I know we're readjusting to Zoom.
I know it.
I know. Oh, the anticipation, Devin.
No, sorry about this.
It's okay. There it is. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to
and
the
to the
republic
republic
for which
it
it stands,
stands,
one nation, under God,
under
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty,
with liberty
and
and justice for all. Okay, we're rusty on the virtual Pledge of Allegiance. We're gonna have to. We'll get back in the swing of it, though. I know we are. All right, so we'll go right on to item C, public comment. So obviously we will only be offering a virtual option this evening. I don't know if we have anybody else joining us.
Not seeing anyone in the attendees, so I think we're all set.
All right, excellent. So we'll move right on to item D. So we have 2 minutes to approve. So for the first one, could I get a motion to approve the May 21st, 2025 minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Item D2, could I have a motion to approve the June 4th, 2025 minutes?
Motion?
Second.
So moved.
All right, any discussion?
Is that in our last packet? Because I was actually looking at the last, I'm sorry, the attached PDF. And I don't know if I saw the June 4th minutes in there.
In the packet that was in our email, you're saying?
Yeah, with the agenda today.
Mm,
Because I missed the meeting, so I want to take a look at the notes. And I have June 18th on page 5. It goes to May 21st.
yeah, I've got it. It is in the packet I'm looking at.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted
No, that's okay. I was just trying to see if I could get a page for you
I see
based
it.
on.
Okay, it's 22.
You got it? Yeah, you
Yep,
got to go
got it.
down past some other documents there.
Okay, sorry about that. All right, got it.
No problem, Wendy. Thank you for asking. All right, any other discussion or questions on this? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Item E, correspondence received 5/20/25 to 6/16/2025. We did not have anything included in our agenda package, but obviously I will mention, as I always do, that you can certainly reach us for questions, thoughts, comments, anything on our webpage. There's a contact form at the bottom of the homepage. So please continue to use that for questions or thoughts or comments. So we'll move right on to item F. Nothing specific for chair report this evening. So we'll go right on to F2, Town Council Liaison Report.
Sarah?
Oh, Sarah's not here.
Yeah,
That's right.
She's on right now. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll move right on to Board of Education Liaison Report.
Yes, so I don't think we gave reports last meeting, so and I had notes ready, but where I was going to let everyone know is you may or may not have heard that our superintendent search is paused or continuing. So, and in the meantime, Kathy has graciously agreed to serve as interim superintendent until we fill that position. So we'll be gearing up for another round, probably in August. So that's news on that front. And we had our special meeting last night in the new central office in one of the conference rooms, and it was fabulous. So of course, Kathy took the opportunity to take the board members who were there around to see all the new offices and space, and it's really, really just phenomenal. I'm so glad that those people who work so hard on the administrative level, get to enjoy a wonderful workspace, just like our teachers and students over at the high school building. So it was quite impressive. And I think that's it.
All right, great. Thank you, Beth. Appreciate that. Any questions or thoughts for Beth? No? Okay. All right, we'll go right on to 1928 Building Committee Liaison Report. Chris?
Nothing significant to report. I unfortunately had to zoom into the last meeting. I don't know, Kat, you want to talk about the tour we took? I wasn't able to take it, and if you want to comment on that, or I was unable to be physically there for that.
Yeah, the committee got to tour the progress of the 1928 building like we've done for the high school. So it was the first time that they got to go up there and see it. And, they're moving pretty quickly. All 3 floors are framed out so you can see the offices take shape. The addition has started. The gym is now level. Remember, it used to be the band room with the step seating. So that's all level to become the multi-purpose gymnasium. So it's pretty cool to see the transformation. They've started on the addition. The new elevator shaft is being installed. So pretty cool to see the progress.
Thank you.
That's great. Yeah, maybe we could sneak in there at some point too, as the other building committee. Maybe you guys can let us in.
Sure.
Yeah,
Well,
we can arrange that.
if you ask nicely.
All right, okay. All right, any other questions for Chris on 1928? All right, we'll go to project management contingency report. Russ?
Still doing good, even with the change orders that we have coming. We still have the negative on the central office, but overall, we're still doing very well. Devin has the owner's contingency up, as you can see, that's still good. There's the central office one.
Yes. So just for the benefit of the committee, just give us a little gentle reminder to Russ on what our plan is around that one.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is, once we're finalized with all the change orders for the central office, we'll do one financial change from the contractor's contingency over to cover these change orders for the central office. So we're going to do that at the end once everything is complete, and that didn't make sense to do a transfer and then maybe have to do a second one. So we're going to wait just to make sure everything's done.
Okay, great. Any questions on contingency for Russ? Do you need any more detail right now? No? All right. I know, Russ, you're going to be back with us in a little bit to talk about change orders as well.
Yep.
All right. So why don't we move on to architect report?
So, TSKP along with Arcadis, we inspected completed punch list items. So this is for both the central office and the field house for the Area F building. So we still have to inspect items on the building exterior and also on the roof. So that's what's pending. Any questions?
Doesn't sound like it. Thanks, Archa. All right, we'll go on to construction manager report.
So site work, we're 90% complete. We finished up the curbs, the walkways, the hydro seeding, the paving around, and signage and striping around the central office building, obviously. We got the TCO, the grandstands, art and fabrication delivery is tracking for mid-July. Demolition of the existing grandstand is complete, and now they're starting with the earthwork. The high school is complete. We are erecting scaffold in stair 1 to complete miscellaneous punch list items. We also have other punch list items going on throughout the building. Commissioning and tab report is still under review. It will be distributed at some point. We have summer added work that includes new doors in the SLC room and guidance corridor, modifications to exist new curtains in the Edge Studio and in the auditorium, additional wall panel in the black box theater, and various door and hardware modifications throughout. We also have a new greenhouse going up. Central office, like I said, is done. Vestibule changes are complete. We got the TCO there. We have some punch list items still ongoing. We did lights adjustments inside today and outside the parking lot lights. Tennis court, we're done. We're just waiting for the light pole bases are installed, and we're waiting for the fixtures and the poles that are due next month. We did review draw 35 with TSKP, and we did some reductions with Con Acoustics, MT Ford, United Steel, and that was just because they were missing their allowance logs, and they were billing for allowance items, but we had no logs to verify it with. And then Red Thread, we reduced them by like 5,000 for missing attic stock. That's it. Anybody have any questions? No.
No?
You
All
good?
right. Yeah, it sounds like we're good. All right. Thank you, Jess. Appreciate it. All right. We will go to the owner's rep move management. Chris.
In conjunction with TSKP, we reviewed Area F central office back punched items, and we were scheduled to inspect the outside, but that got delayed. So that's going to take place next week, and that's pretty much it. Any questions?
All right. Thank you, Chris. All right. That leaves us with F9 Communications Subcommittee. Obviously, nothing to report as we have not been meeting. Financial Subcommittee report. I don't think there's anything unique to report from the meeting last Friday. We obviously will be going through all the invoices and change orders we reviewed. Make sure I'm right on that though. Kat, Ross, anything? I don't think there was anything unique we needed to discuss.
Just the updates that we had at the end about Zoom
Oh, that's
meeting
right.
and legislative, but I can do that now or under other business, whatever works for you.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and do them now, Kat? I think it makes sense.
Okay, so we I just wanted to report that during this past legislative session, we had some special legislation working with our legislative delegation and Arcadis. We found that if you remember last year, we received special legislation regarding our procurement issues with TSKP and CSG, how we procured them. But in the legislative language, they gave a cap for reimbursable expenses up to $1.8 million. Our cost for those projects has already exceeded that $1.8 million. So we sought broader legislative relief to have any expense from these two contracts become eligible for reimbursement. So they rescinded the previous one, and it's more open-ended without a cap. So now there's more opportunity to maximize our reimbursement. So thanks to our legislative delegation and Arcadis for helping us get that done.
Yeah, great news overall. Thank you, everybody, for the work to make that happen.
And then just the other update that we shared at the subcommittee meeting is just based on the things that we're approving now, mainly reports and invoices and change orders, that moving to a Zoom for the majority of our remaining meetings makes more sense, especially in the summer months, just to be able to keep things moving and make meetings more efficient. So you see today we have that model, but moving forward, the main business meetings will likely be online. That's not to say, and Meg reminded us that we're never going to see each other again. As we're winding down with the project, we will probably have something planned towards the end to thank everyone for all their efforts. And that's it, I think, Meg.
All right. Any questions on that on Finance Committee or updates there? All right. That leaves us with financial report. Anything tonight, Kat?
No report on that one.
All right. Perfect. All right. So that gets us through all the reports this evening. Let's move right on to item G, new business. So could I get a motion to approve the following invoice package for Farmington High School as presented?
So moved.
I'll second.
All right, we will open up for discussion.
All right, so the first invoice on tonight's agenda is for TSKP Studio. This is for their professional services rendered through May 31st for construction administration in the amount of $21,000. Next on the agenda is the project manager, that's Russ's, $5,737.16, and included with that is the timesheets for his hours worked. Next on the agenda is Vintage King. This is technology equipment in the amount of $432.18. You will see later in here, there's a change order. To add money to this account, we've had a lot of confusion regarding the billing with Vintage King, partially because they didn't put PO numbers on their invoices and the school also was ordering from them directly. So we have exceeded the PO amount. A change order later is just looking for $1,960.09 to rectify that and close out this PO. So more information coming on that change order, but this is the last invoice from them to be made whole for the equipment we have already received. Next on the agenda is Arcadis. This is owner's rep services for the Farmington portion of the project in the amount of $1,666.25. And then I'll turn it over to Russ for the change orders.
All right, so all the change orders have gone through been reviewed by the decision-making group. The first change order, 238, is for the permanent connection to natural gas. For the high school building, this went off the temporary into the permanent connection and is for $15,173. And this cost is being applied to the same contingency. DCO 240 is adding additional floor outlets in the coffee bar area. Staff requested that additional outlets be installed for use at the coffee bar for $3,029. GCO 241 is a credit for the tennis court lights from the base bid. We've gone through that change order for the credit for the lights for the tennis court previously, and this credit is for $48,769. PCO 250 is to furnish and install an additional door at the SLC room number 1217 for $12,623.40. If you recall where the SLC room is, this is where they're doing training for the students, and if there's a kitchen in there, and during a walkthrough, we figured to add a door where a window would be into that back hallway to allow, if there was ever any issue going on in that training kitchen, that students could exit either way, depending on where they were in that room. So that's why we taking that old window unit out and putting a new door in there for emergency access or egress, sorry. PCO 255 is to replace the recirculation pump for the area F, but for the high school portion, when they did all the demo, the pump sat and went to resurrect it, and it was wasn't in any good shape, wouldn't work, so we had to replace that circulation pump for the field house in area F for the high school for $894. And that work's being applied to the same contingents. PCO 258 is for the building dedication plaque for $2,954. The plaque is going to be about 18 feet long and about 4 feet high. But be about 2 by 3. It's going to be a big plaque, but there was no item in the original scope. PCO 259 is furnish and install metal trim around the wall devices. This is for $4,788. It's basically to trim out anything that's hanging on the wall and the corridors, and it's being applied to the same contingency. PCO 260 is to furnish and install additional acoustic wall panels in the Black Box Theater for $16,419. Once they started using the Black Box Theater, they noticed that they were having problems with the sound, and the sound engineer recommended adding additional acoustic panels on the north and south walls. And that is, like I said, for $16,419. Technology. So this is a technology change order number 5. Kat, this will final out the whole technology, right?
Yeah, so this is for the Vintage King audio that we just approved that last invoice for. Like I said, we exceeded the PO amount. We've increased this PO twice. The most recent one was for additional quantities of previously specified items. We found after digging through what kind of the issue is we needed $15,000 in the last edition, but because there was a working balance at that time, we only approved an addition of $13,794. They in fact did need that $1,600. So that's kind of accounting for that overage. There's a little bit more just additional dollars that were spent for this, but increasing the PO again by $1,960.09 will make it totally even and close out the PO. We've already received these items and they've been installed and are working fine, but we just need to clean this one up.
I think that's the last one.
Yes.
All right. Any further discussion, questions, thoughts, anything anybody wants to discuss related to this invoice package?
I have a question.
Yeah, Beth, go
When
ahead.
is the plaque going to be hung? I've been asked that question and I was curious. The dedication plaque.
I misunderstood. I couldn't understand you about.
When is the dedication plaque being hung?
Oh, when did it get? We got to order it.
Okay.
So it's going to be a while.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Maybe to your point, Beth, though, maybe we can do for those that, especially those that are on it, let them know, do a communication around that as well.
Sounds good.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people on it, which is why
No, exactly.
which is why it's so big.
And if you guys remember looking at the list, it was people, there was with asterisks and all, because people moved different roles throughout the life of this 5+ year-ish project. So trying to capture all that, I think, was definitely a little bit of a challenge, but I think we got it. All right. Any other thoughts, questions, clarification, anything else before we vote? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Motion passes. We'll move right on to item G2. So could I have a motion to approve the following invoice package for central office as presented?
Motion?
Second.
Right. Discussion.
So the first invoice for this package is for O&G. This is for work mainly attributed to central office, $648,993.60. Jessica, anything in here that we need to point out or anything out of the ordinary? It's been reviewed multiple times, but just wanted to see if there was anything you wanted to mention.
No, those were the things that I mentioned earlier that we just cut out of the rec because of allowance stuff, allowance logs, backup. That was it.
Perfect. Next invoice here is for Arcadis. This is for their work related to the central office project in the amount of $1,889.20. And then we have one change order for central office.
So this is PCO 221 for the existing bathrooms. The tiles, after getting worked on and everything going on in the bathrooms, needed to be replaced for $11,618.
All right. That's the full package for tonight. Any questions? Anybody has? No? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? All right. Motion passes. So that leaves us to other business, which I think we covered previously in the report outs, unless there's anything else, Kat, Devin, that we need to cover for the evening.
Only thing is, do we need to have the first July meeting? I guess if our professional partners want to chime in, is there anything that we would need to meet on, which it's scheduled for 7/2?
Yeah, July 2nd, the week of the holiday week.
I will be traveling that day, so I won't be here for that one.
Same here.
Yeah, I don't think there's a need. But if there is something, professional partners, let us know now. So we
There's nothing needed
Okay.
at that meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so why don't we go ahead and somebody want to do a motion for cancellation?
Motion.
I'll make a motion to cancel the July 3rd meeting.
Second. I think it's second. Is it the second?
Second.
Meeting, I'm sorry, the July 2nd meeting.
No.
Sorry. I changed my motion to July 2nd.
Sorry, sometimes I'm yelling out second.
Yeah. Second.
Oh, boy. All
Who's on
right.
first?
Yeah, exactly. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, motion passes. So we'll go ahead and cancel the July 2nd meeting. All right, so I think that only leaves us with a motion to adjourn. So could I have a motion to adjourn, please?
A motion?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect. We will adjourn at 5:31.